It's time for AI News, brought to you by AIAW Podcast.
So, okay, I chose a story that came up, I think, like yesterday. I think it's a really big thing, and it's really been overflowing my LinkedIn and other social media feeds just today. So there was a big AI safety summit where they had a big global collaboration, which includes China, US, Europe, and 20, I think 5 other countries or something, all coming together and trying to find out, how can we maximize the good of AI and potentially regulate or find legislation that will minimize the harm of AI. And I remember seeing the vice president of US that was there as well, Kamala Harris, and she for one gave a really awesome speech. It was so well rehearsed and awesomely professionally presented, and she spoke about a number of things. I disagreed with a number of things she said. She said something like, should we be afraid about existential risks, etc. And then she gave, in a very rhetoric kind of awesome thing, isn't this a existential risk, etc. But then she connected it to individuals. She said well, what happens if you have a deep fake that exposes your kid on social media? Isn't that an existential risk to your family? And then they said something like, if you have something that AI that produces a gun and they kill your husband, isn't that an existential risk to you, to your husband? And I think they are abusing the word existential. Existential is per definition not individual, I would say. But still, it was an awesome talk by Kamala Harris, and that was interesting. And what's really interesting is that they all came together, like China, US, Europe, and so many other countries, and that they also included tech giants. We've been speaking about tech giants for a long time here, and that they have a big lead, and we speak about the AI divide, saying that the top giants like Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, Amazon, and so many more, Meta, etc., are in such a lead and so valuable. So they are more powerful, I would argue, than most of the countries. And this really exemplifies this, because it produced the top countries together with the top companies.
At the same, to talk about this, you needed to have the superpowers like China and US, but you also needed the superpowers in terms of some tech giants.
And then they, we'll see what really comes out of this. But they spoke about the new term that I haven't heard before as well. They spoke about the frontier AI. So they didn't speak about AGI. They didn't speak about foundational model or generative AI. They spoke about frontier AI. And that is a new term, and it could be interesting to think more about what that really means. I have to think more about if that's a good or bad thing, but it's new at least, and it's interesting.
So now we have generative AI, we have frontier AI, and we have real world AI as different people trying to put the label
human
on
level AI and narrow AI and so many different types of them.
But what are they trying to achieve by putting a label of frontier AI? Could you? Oh, this is what you need to look deeper into.
I have at least one quote that I wrote down because I couldn't memorize it. But to make frontier AI safe and to ensure nations and citizens globally can realize its benefits now and in the future. Sounds good. And then they spoke about the number of risks, and they also spoke the different type of risks it can be with AI. It can be you can actually have good actors like Microsoft or Google or Midjourney and others that want to produce AI services that are for the good of the customers, but it can go bad, and it can be mistakes, and they can break laws by creating these kind of services, and that can turn out really dangerous for the society.
Yeah, it's interesting. Goran pulled up what is frontier AI, and there's a paper. This paper uses the government's chosen definition of frontier AI. So this is
yes, and it says a highly capable general purpose
AI models that can perform a wide variety of tasks and match or exceed the capabilities present in today's most advanced models. So it's not like they are avoiding here the term human or human-like.
Generative
So it's
or
more
AGI
like,
or
yeah.
But I like this because it actually doesn't only focus on more general AI or generative AI. It's speaking about the most advanced models.
Yes, exactly. And I think this is good, actually.
I think this is a good way of putting it as well, because as soon as you start using AGI, for people in the industry, it means something quite extreme, right?
And I think if you just use AI for autonomous weapons or something, I mean, that wouldn't be a general kind of generative AI.
But using frontier AI as opposed to, I guess, traditional AI or commonplace AI is a way to frame it. Interesting. Yeah.
Yep. And then they had these kind of 4 types of risks. It was the good actors going bad, or they could be the bad actors that intentionally using it to create a new coronavirus or biological weapons or whatnot. And then we have the whole agency kind of problem where AI takes control and you have the singularity and whatnot, and simply the social turmoil. And then they spoke about that and different ways to collaborate throughout the world and properly have a common agreed upon policy globally to fight with this. And I think it's good, because otherwise the problem is that if some country or a single company say, I will go responsible now, but then the competitor just focus on revenue, they will lose. So they need to have it both from a country global point of view, but also from a company shared view of how to fight this. So I think this is an amazing, surprising, and really good move.
I'll let you go first, Goran, because I'm afraid of stealing your ideas the whole time.
So I don't have one. I will do very short, actually, things, but it's around 6, 7, 8 of those. The first thing that was very interesting.
That was mine.
Okay, good. But then you take that one because I have other ones. First of all, AI was voted as the word of the year. So this is very big one. So based on how many people has been talking about it and has been Googling the word AI is now officially the word of the year by Collins Dictionary. So there it is. AI is the word of the year. Second thing, so Apple released their M3 chip, which is basically their response to the AI war that is going on right now, where basically so they have a new chip which will basically help many organizations and people that are working with Mac to speed up the process of AI innovation. Of course, with this, they are also creating a new ecosystem. So basically, people can innovate and with AI through Mac and Apple products. So this is very big. The French AI company Mistral, they just basically announced that they will be gathering another $300 million, which will put them on a valuation of $1 billion. In total. So they are officially basically the European answer to ChatGPT or OpenAI.
So they are the biggest right now.
Yes, but there is an interesting twist to this. So the Germany richest man, do you know who it is?
No.
The guy who basically owns Lidl.
Lidl guy,
the supermarket.
Supermarket guy.
So now he has a foundation which is called like charitable foundation, which is called like Dieter Schwarz Foundation. So they are creating right now AI, what is called innovation park, that is aiming to take on the race with OpenAI and lifting the German LLM. It's called Aleph Alpha. To basically, so they're investing a lot of money over the next 10 years, making Germany actually one of the countries that will have, quite good large language models. So I think they're mostly actually not fighting with OpenAI here. They're fighting with the Mistral in France, but it's okay. Yeah. But I'm happy that we have more of this coming up in Europe. So this is quite nice, actually. So this is good. What else is new? Google add $2 billion to Anthropic. You remember in the last episode, we were talking about Amazon investing $4 billion in Anthropic. Google just basically did $2 billion in them as well.
So both Amazon and Google in Anthropic.
Yes, because they want to speed up the game and actually make sure they are on the right track with OpenAI and Microsoft and everything.
Yeah, so they actually go for they are putting money on the second one or whatever. Yeah, interesting.
The official thing is that basically it's urgency to innovate in AI along the Google own project, which is called Gemini, that we basically didn't have a chance to discuss over some episodes back. I'm waiting for Anders to start talking about it.
It's not released yet.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see how it's going to go. And ChatGPT released all the tools. So now you basically can upload PDF into ChatGPT and analyze it, which is completely crashing the whole PDF market, and it's making it much easier actually for people to work with it. One of the big things in ChatGPT, and if you have worked with that, is that you cannot paste a large amount of text. So for example, let's say that this episode right now, I want to use the transcript to create a summary of it. It will be impossible because you will need to divide that into several sections in order to upload the entire transcript. Now, if I take the transcript, put it into a PDF, and then upload the PDF directly into ChatGPT, then I can get that.
So we found a way now around
yes,
this.
and it's an exciting thing to do because this is going to speed up content marketing. And you heard me before speaking with my marketeers earlier. I'm looking forward starting.
And
this
with the PDF, now you're getting very close to what is very normal work cycle for to get a PDF in the end and then upload that really speeds up.
It's going to speed up quite a lot of things, and I think we are going very quickly to a more effectivization and a hyper personalization of things. This was my news, so you can.
And now I take the one that I take one. So you have in Stanford the Center for Research on Foundation Models, and if you go to their webpage, you go in and you end up in what is called Stanford University Human-Centered Artificial Intelligence, so HI. And they are now introducing what they call the Foundation Model Transparency Index. So they are basically trying to understand what is the level of transparency that you can have with the different large language models. And of course, that then becomes interesting in relation to if it's more transparent, supposedly it's easier to use for use in your company or in your public sector because you have more understanding for what it really is, and the less transparent it is it has its pros and cons. So they've done this transparency index, and you get a score, and the top score is of course Llama 2 with Meta. Then you have Bloom's, OpenAI GT4, and Amazon Titan text in this little graph is has the lowest score. So basically, this is a paper that you can find on Stanford University on the high side, and you can Google the Foundation Model Transparency Index. Foundation Model as FMTI.
How can GPT-4 be so transparent?
Yeah.
Understand it.
Well, obviously they have actually and there is a research paper of 200 pages. They have done the indexing on 100 different indexes, which basically, and it's written down, so you have it's divided on 30% on how the model was created. The second thing, the data, the transparency, and the risk of how the model was created. And the third one is how the functionality works and how you can use it. So
they have written basically nothing about how GPT-4 was created. So
but they have done their own research.
So the paper is quite
there is an index on that as well. How well the company has explained the model. That was one of the 30% as well. So
so the model really the transparency index is a score where they look at data, labor, compute methods, model basics, model access, capabilities, risk, mitigations, distribution, usage policy, feedback, impact. It's a bunch of different dimensions that they then put into an index, right? And and then in this paper they go into this course and they go into this how it really works and all that. But it's quite interesting, right? Because it points the picture at what I think is if we want to be serious about this, we need to find ways to manage it and govern it, and we need to find ways of understanding pros and cons for going different
Or you
routes.
simply ignore it and say, no, I don't want to be transparent about this. I would love to see Apple up on this list. They will probably be in the last in the list.
Yeah, they are smart. They will not do an LLM model. They will just use metas and that's it. Let's go.